Okay, Jyoti, you ready? Unmute.
Do I start now? Yeah.
Yeah, wait until Morgan. Okay, Morgan, we can start now.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. Let me run the record this. Hold on.
Please.
Right.
Okay, so good evening and good morning. Good evening and good morning. Nama Budaya Sukihonto. Welcome to our Zoom meeting for DhammaCakraTra, Los Angeles, United States. I hope everyone is doing well, staying safe and happy and healthy. And we will begin today's Dhammadesana. So we will first start with our DhammaCakraTra, and then we will go into Pubabhagana Makara. And after that, we will request for Panchasila and then request for Dhammadesana. And after that, we have an announcement. And then after that, we will close with the DhammaCakraTra and then a metta remark and some appendix. And then for today's staff, we have our host, Jaya, and then for YouTube, we have Indra Siswanto, and then for chanting, our leader will be Jyoti today. Jyoti, if you are ready, you can go ahead and start.
Araham Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddham Bhagavantam Abhivademi. The Blessed One is worthy and rightly self-awakened. I bow down before the awakened, the Blessed One. Namaskar. Wakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammam Namasami. The Dhamma is well expounded by the Blessed One. I pay homage to the Dhamma. Namaskar. Supatipano Bhagavato Sawaka Sangho Sangang Namami. The Sangha of the Blessed One's disciple has practiced well. I pay respect to the Sangha. Namaskar. Handamayang Buddhasa Bhagavato Puba Haganmar Karamo Se. Now let us chant the preliminary passage in the homage to the awakened one, the blessed one. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the blessed one, the worthy one, the supremely enlightened one.
3 times, Josie.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the blessed one, the worthy one, the rightly self-awakened, the supremely enlightened one. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the blessed one, the worthy one, the supremely enlightened one.
We wait for the Bante to join, okay? Hold on.
Okay.
We hold for a few minutes, okay? Until Bante enter the Zoom meeting, okay?
Sorry, everyone. We'll be waiting a couple more minutes for the Bante to come in.
Yeah, Bante will be joining soon. In few minutes for
Okay, Bante, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Mm-hmm.
So before we continue, let me ask everyone to please bow down to Bante 3 times to show our respect. Okay, and then Jyoti, you can continue.
The yawn.
Yes, Jyoti, thank you.
Okay. Wakasa ang Bante Tisarana Sading Pancasila Dhammang Yancami Anugam Katawa Silam Dekami Bante Tutiyampi Okasa Bante Tisarana Sading Pancasila Dhammang Yancami Anugam Katawa Silam Deta Mi Bante Tatiampi Okasa Ang Bante Tisarana Sadim Pancasila Dhammang Yancami Anugang Katawa Silam Deta Mi Bante.
We missed the Namo Tassa section, but we will just continue from where you left off. Yamahang vadami tang veditha. You say Ama Bante.
Ama Bante.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Repeat.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
3 times, twice more.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Buddhang saranang gacchami. Repeat.
Buddham saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Sangham saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tutiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tutiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sangham saranang gacchami.
Tutiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhamman saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sangham saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Saranagamanang paripunnam. You say amabante.
Amabante.
Very good. Now we'll take the 5 precepts. We'll do in portions, so you can repeat after me. Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Panatipata Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhyami.
Adinnadana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinadana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhyami.
Kamesu miccachara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Kamesumi Chachara Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhyami.
Musavada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Musawada Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhyami.
Surameraya majjapamadatthana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Surameraya Majapamadatthana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhyami.
Very good. Imani pancha sikkhapadani silena sugating yanti. Silena bhoga sampada. Silena nibbuting yanti. Tasma silang visodhaye. Say ama bante. Good sound.
Amabante Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu.
Very good. Now you can go ahead and chant the leader. Brahma cha lokadipati.
Brahma Chaloka Dipati Sahampati Kantanjali Andiwaram Ayachata Santi Jawa Sata Arpa Rajaka Jatika Dese tu Dhammang Anugampinang Pajang.
Very good. Very good. Now,
Okay, so thank you so much, Jyoti, for leading that chanting. And thank you so much, Bante, once again, for coming. So just a little bit about Bante Chandama. Venerable Dr. Candana is a bhikkhu and student of the Dhamma for over 30 years while teaching the Dhamma for a little over 2 decades. Bante Chandana has a doctorate in Buddhist ministry as well as a master's degree in psychology, marriage and family counseling, and comparative religions. In addition to his academic and applied background in the Dhamma, Venerable Dr. Chandana has an extensive background working with the patients in a clinical psychotherapist, having completed his degree and training in psychology and marriage and family therapy in the US. Since last year, during the COVID-19 epidemic and spreading throughout the world, Bante was invited to Italy, then to the UK, to work with locals and Buddhist lay people as they struggled with the impacts of these distressing times, while making the Dhamma available and giving meditation retreats in Europe, the US, and Asia. Venerable Dr. Chandana holds meditation retreats both in person and on Zoom with students from around the world, focusing on mindfulness, metta, or loving kindness, and vipassana insight, as well as helping introduce healthier relational skills to bring happiness in people's lives by reducing their suffering through increased understanding. So thank you again, Bante, and you can now begin. Thank you.
Mhm. This is a very lovely for me to be asked to join the DhammaCakraTra Indonesian community. The community itself holds a very special place for me. And I don't know, can you hear me? Yes, okay. So I usually would like, before giving a Dhamma talk, I usually like to have us all sit for a little bit of meditation. So usually it is about an hour, but obviously I'm not going to have you sit for an hour, but maybe about 5 minutes. I think we can do 5 minutes. Yes? I like the head nodding. Wonderful. So as you're sitting, you don't have to have your eyes closed. You can sit with your eyes open, but try to see if you can sit without moving, without any kind of movement. And be curious if there's any type of attention, any sensation you feel in your body, how the clothes feel on your body. As you're doing this, see if you can feel the tip of your nose and see how the temperature is affected, how it feels every time you breathe in, every time you breathe out. Can you follow the breath going in, coming out? See if you can tell if there's any heat, any sense of coolness. Just observe that for a few minutes. Relax the face. You can even smile while you're sitting. Slowly, slowly. See if your mind drifted away. And every time you notice that it's slipping, bring it back to the tip of your nose, where the breath is coming in and the breath is going out. And every time you feel upset, angry, or happy, bring your attention back to the tip of the nose. Even when you're walking, even when you're doing other things around the house, or when you're doing your class work, homework. So slowly, slowly bring your attention back to your sitting position. How your body feels if you're sitting on the ground or on a chair. How your back feels. And if you had your eyes closed, go ahead and separate your eyelids and just open up your eyes. This is what the Buddha would do usually before giving a Dhamma talk. This is an old tradition where the Buddha would help the person who came to ask for Dhamma or asking a question. Sometimes they would have to run from afar or come from a long way to hear the Buddha talk. So sometimes their minds would be all agitated, all over the place. So they needed to calm down. So every time you're finding yourself trying to make sense of things, somebody's annoying you, somebody's making you angry or something, or you're not feeling like you want to talk to someone, your mind is all over the place. Find a quiet space, go to your room somewhere, even the bathroom. Close the door, just watch the breath. Just like we did. So today, I wanted to talk about things that would possibly be interesting to some of you, if not all of you. How many of you use your phones? You can use your hands to gesture. How many of you use your phones or computer? Yes. Well, many times we try to get on the computer, iPad, phone, whatever, to try to get us to do something else other than what we need to do. Maybe check if I got a text, maybe get on some PlayStation or Fortnite, some type of a game, right? Any of you play video games? Hands, if you do. Most of your faces are hidden, the rest of, so I don't know if you can actually post your hand up so that I know. No. There's a thing that happens in our brain every time we get a text. Every time we check our phone. Every time. Every time we see if there's an email or something like that, part of the brain lights up. And there are special chemicals that are released that make us feel good, but in a very short time period. And then it goes away. Now we want some more of that. Eventually it becomes addiction. Addiction is something that we normally do whenever we feel like we're bored. We like to do more of it. And we don't ask questions. We just keep repeating it, and we want a little bit more than last time, a little bit more than last time, a little bit more than last time. And then if you were doing your schoolwork, your class, your homework, suddenly you realize your homework is not done. Is that something that happens to you? Do you get to feel like at the end of the day you don't have your homework done? Do you ever have that? You can even nod. You don't have to raise your hand. Do you ever wonder where those hours went? Slipped by? What was I doing? Maybe I was checking Instagram, social media, something. Our parents didn't have these things. Our grandparents definitely didn't have these things. Phones, iPad, things like that. But we do. So it's important for us to, every once in a while, take the phone, take the iPad, unless you're doing homework with it, and put it in a drawer. And say to yourself, I'm going to give myself 1 hour not to be using this phone. Put it on silent, put it in a safe place, maybe in your room, in a drawer, close the drawer and walk away from the drawer and sit. Doing your homework, maybe speak with your parents, listen to them, or go have your lunch, dinner. Another thing that I would like you to do is, if you first let me know if you actually sit down on your dinner table with your phone next to you. Does any of you do that?
No, I take my dinner on my computer desk.
Oh, you take your dinner on your computer desk. So you make things easier.
Well, not on it. I put it right on the side table.
Haha. Well, one of the things that happens when we do that is we never actually taste the food. I used to be a fitness trainer. Do you know what that means?
Oh yeah, you're basically a coach.
Yeah, something like that. Mm-hmm. So basically, people would pay me a lot of money so that I could get them to lose their body fat and even get them to feel healthy and get really trim bodies. Okay. One of the fastest, quickest tricks ever to do to make them not get fat, for example, was to put the phone away and turn off the TV. Sometimes the dinner table is close to the TV. And whenever we're watching, we're eating like this. We never taste the food and we never chew the food. It goes straight like that into your gut, into your stomach, and now you look down and the plate is gone. The bowl is gone. There's nothing in it. Where is it? It's in my stomach now. How did it go? What did it taste like? Who cares? Now I'm done. Now I can go and play my game. What was my mom talking about? What was my dad talking about? I don't know, because I was not there. So, how is this helpful? How can this help us? Today, many of you, people in your age group, when you sit down to listen to a teacher, first of all, you're not in the classroom. You're in a place like this, digital classroom, right? How much fun is that? Are you guys enjoying that?
It's about as much fun as normal school.
Anyone else? Trevalya, you look like you had something to say.
What are you doing?
Could you, Edskill? Yes, thank you. Because it's echoing. When we are hanging out with other people, We feel good. We feel good. We have things to say. We can play with them. We can talk with them. When you're not feeling good, you can talk to them when you're feeling bad, and all of a sudden you feel good about that. So if your parents are giving you, let's say, 1 hour to be on the phone, or 2 hours to be on the phone talking with your friends, for example, see if you can, instead of playing any video games or anything like that, if you can ask them 2 questions. 2 questions, or even 1 question. What do you miss about school? Actual school. Or what would we do when school doors are open, when we're back to school?
I miss recess and lunch and math.
You miss recess, lunch, and math. And
Wait, are you not getting lunch at home?
Eden, I think you had your hand up.
I miss my friends.
You miss your friends. I see some head nodding. Anyone else?
I'm not nodding my head, just so you know.
When we are around other people, we actually get excited. We start thinking better, and our brains grow in size. When we're spending time with a phone, let's say, or a computer or an iPad, guess what? We get bored easily. And our ability to learn and study isn't that much fun anymore. So when you guys took this morning, well, just now, not this morning, but we took the 5 precepts. When we talked about, you spoke in Pali, you were reciting the words in Pali, and Jody was the leader and he was saying the words. Yes, big thumbs up to Jody. Now, the first precept was about not harming anyone intentionally. Not harming anyone intentionally. What do you understand with that statement? What does that say? What does it mean to you? Because you are promising to yourself that you're not going to harm anyone willfully, intentionally. Can anyone say something about that as to how you understand it? Yes, Eden.
It's like if you step on an ant, you don't do it intentionally. You accidentally did it because you didn't see the ant. That's okay. But if you see an ant and you step on it on purpose, that's not okay.
Very good. You're absolutely right, Eden. Sometimes we do things without knowing. And that is not what the Buddha talked about as karma. Karma that we say in English, karma or kamma. The Buddha used the word kamma. It's the same thing. So we are making the promise to ourselves that we are not going to harm anyone or anything that's living intentionally. As Eden said, unless it's happened by accident. If by accident I stepped on an ant, that is not breaking the first precept. Pancha sila. Sila is the precept, is virtue. The second one is not to take something that is not freely given. That means somebody did not offer it to us, did not give it to us. Sometimes you might be in the classroom or somewhere and there is a piece of paper or a pencil. And you look around, it's not your classroom, it's not your room, it's somebody else's room. And you look over and you don't see anyone, but you're in someone else's room. Aha. You say, well, no one saw me, let me grab this pencil. That would be breaking the precept number 2. Now, it belongs to the room, it belongs to someone else. Let's say it's your sister's room, brother's room, or another classroom, or your dad's office. So what would be the right thing to do so we don't break the second precept? How can we take the pencil? Yes, Jody.
You, instead of taking the pencil, you put it back where you found it. Or if you don't remember, you can put it back the nearest where you found it. Or if you already took it, you can do the right thing and put it back.
Yeah, all good points. Or even ask the person who it belongs to, hey, I'm going to need to borrow this pencil. Would you allow me to? And sometimes it's just a pencil. They say, of course, go ahead and use it or take it. And the third one is when we are doing something and we're liking it very much. In the case here would be something like eating ice cream or eating a pizza. Okay? Yes, pizza, a delicious pizza. Now, you get 12 slices in the pizza and you have to share it with someone, maybe 3-4 people, but it's your favorite pizza. Guess what? Instead of eating just 2 pieces, 2 slices, you want to eat 4 or 5 or 6 and not leave enough for others because you want to finish the whole thing. That is the breaking of the third precept. That's something we call indulging in. Indulge means like going crazy with it. Just like, yeah, I want to take all of it. I want to eat all of it. Yeah. Yes. So that is breaking the third precept. Does it make sense, by the way? Yeah. Or ice cream. I love ice cream. But sometimes we can go ahead and want more than once a day. You don't have to be sticking your tongue out, Jody. People are looking at you. And plus, it's inappropriate to be doing that in front of a bhikkhu, a monk. And but that's okay, you didn't know. Number 4 precept is, it has to do with what I just mentioned to Jody. It has to do with the tongue. Yes. We like to speak a lot. A lot. We like to talk a lot. And when we talk a lot without thinking, guess what happens? The wrong things are said. Yes, the wrong things. And we also end up lying, saying things that are not true. Let's say somebody takes the extra slice of pizza. Mom or dad or somebody comes over and asks, well, who ate the last piece of pizza? And you ate it, let's say. The person says, who ate it? And you say, she did, or he did, or I didn't. Guess what? We are breaking the 4th precept. Makes sense so far? What the 4th precept has to do is with honesty. So it teaches us to be honest. Jody, you have something to say? Yes.
4th precept, no lies.
No lies. Now, it's not just no lies, it also has to do, it has a few other things. It also has to do with gossiping. Do you guys know what gossiping is? Morgan? You're shaking your head.
Gossiping is when you sort of spread mean comments towards other people behind other people's back.
Yes, that's it. That's very good, Morgan. That's exactly it. Now, people ask me, Bante, how do you stop gossiping? Because it's you have some juicy stuff on someone. You really want to say it. You really want to talk about them. And I ask one simple question. If the person was here right now, would you still talk about them badly in front of them? And they say, no, I can't do that. I say, why? Because he's here or she's here. I can't say that in front of him. But if they were not, then I can go ahead and comfortably say it. Well, from now on, if you're going to say something bad about someone, and if they were really there next to you and you can't, don't. Because it's going to make us feel bad. Imagine somebody else doing that to us. Does that feel right? If somebody is saying bad things about us behind our back? That doesn't feel right, does it? Yes. And then the fifth one is when it has to do with addictions. Like I was saying earlier, addictions is basically when we are constantly running away from things. Like, oh, I want to play my my video game. I want to do my Fortnite. I want to do PlayStation. I want to check what emails I have. Oh, who texted me? All kinds of stuff. But you are running away, whether it's your class, your homework, whether it's listening to your parents, or just sitting down and meditating. So that's number 5. Makes sense? Eden, you have a question?
No.
No? Okay. Does anyone have any questions about anything? I would like to have you guys try meditating once a day from now on. Does any of you already meditate? No? Jody's saying yes.
The last time I meditated was probably 2 years ago.
Ah, well, if you joined us today, you also did it today. So that's...
Oh, yeah, right.
That's true, right? By the way, I used to be a junior high and a high school teacher. I used to teach biology and computer graphics years ago. So, and general sciences, different, astronomy and physical science. So, it's fun being in the classroom, right? Again, it feels like I'm in a classroom. So, Jody, I didn't see what you wrote. So, yes. So so I would like to have you guys start meditating 5 minutes a day. That's not enough. That's not much, right? 5 minutes. And you can do it any time of day, but usually I like to have people meditate early in the morning when they wake up. And the other thing is, when you wake up, I'd like you to smile. The first thing that you need to do is smile, even if your eyes are closed. Can you do that? When you wake up, just smile. How many of you can smile now? Eden is smiling, Jody is smiling, Morgan, Travalia, smiling. Eddie, are you smiling? There he is.
Yes. I don't like when I smile, I feel like it looks weird.
But how does it feel? Does it feel
Good.
weird? Good. Yeah, it doesn't matter what it looks like as long as it makes you feel good. Who cares if it looks weird? That's what I say. So I smile when I'm walking down the street. People look at me. I was like, oh, this tall monk, bhikkhu, why is he smiling? Well, I'm smiling because I feel good. And guess what that does to other people? They start to smile too. That's the trick. So I would like to ask if there's any questions you guys have, because I don't know how long Jay wanted me to stay here and to give the talk, because yes, Morgan,
Yes.
how? Yes.
I think around 30 or 40 minutes in total. Yeah.
Okay. So how would you like to proceed, Jay?
Well, if the Dhamma talk is done, then we can proceed with a question and answer, Bante.
Yes. Yes, I would like to proceed to the question and answer. And hopefully you have some questions for me. Yes, Eden.
What if you have the intention to do something bad, but you don't do it?
What if you have the intention to do something bad, but you don't do it? Why didn't you do it?
I guess because you thought it was bad.
Yes. Guess what? That means that you have what the Buddha called wisdom. That is what we want. That is why we practice Panchasila. That means that it is already doing its work. It is helping us to become more and more alert and awake to see, I was going to take that pencil or pen or paper or something that didn't belong to me. I'm going to stop myself from doing that. And that shows that you are smarter, what we call wiser, than someone else who would want to take that or to do that. So I'm really glad that you asked that question, because it shows that you are very alert. So anybody else have a similar experience or similar question as Eden? Okay, next question. Yes.
Bante, how would you connect love with addiction?
How would I connect love with addiction? Love is the thing that gives us meaning in life. Meaning, it makes things juicy, it makes things special, it makes things wonderful and precious. Addictions don't. Addictions, actually, the topic is very. It's a powerful topic, and it requires a certain level of understanding when we tackle this subject. However, addiction is, in a weird way, trying to control situations and circumstances in order for it to make us feel happy and good. But the key word here is control. The person wants to have control over things so that they can feel good anytime they want to. Love is more like sitting and waiting, just like a chicken. A chicken sits and waits until the eggs start to hatch. It cannot force the eggs to hatch. Hey, come on, get outside. Crack the egg, come outside, come outside. Where are the chickies? Where are they? Love is like the chicken who sits on the eggs waiting and waiting, and finally the egg cracks and it hatches and there's a chick coming out, another chicken. Now you have a family. So it's like that. I would say that one, by the way, you cannot have love if you are trying to control. If you're trying to control someone, I want you to love me. When you have that way of thinking, guess what? There's no love. There's no love. You have to be more open and patient for love to happen. Otherwise, it's a form of control. And anything that has control in it, it is not going to be love. And that's why addictions, even though they can promise us, yeah, keep doing this, it's going to make you feel good, they never do. That's why we want to do more of it tomorrow. More of it, and it never, 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 never fulfills us, makes us feel like happy and love. So that is one way of connecting both addiction and love. Any other questions? Good question.
Andre, may I ask you a question?
Yes, Eddie, go ahead. It's good to see you again, by the way.
Yeah, it's good to see you too. It's been a while. It looks like you're not in the US right now, because I can see the sun is still shining so bright behind you. So it's almost like a morning time or daytime.
I'm in Hawaii, actually, in the US. I'm in the middle of the ocean.
So my question is, I want to know, since you become a Bhante, what do you like about it after you become a Bhante, and what do you miss, after you become a Bhante, in your life? Or do you still find something that you like after you become a Bhante, and do you still feel you miss something, or you like totally content? I mean, how do you feel? Is it getting better and better each day, or I mean, how do you feel?
Thank you. Thank you for the question. It's very, like many of your other questions you've asked in the past, it's very realistic. It's very to the point. I appreciate that. Well, I definitely don't miss being a layperson. It's wonderful just having these robes as my clothing. It feels so right. It feels perfect. And I should have been a bhikkhu long time ago, but my life situations were not allowing me to, until I had to take charge of my life and deal with whatever happens. And so I did. But one of the things that does, or I was not expecting to happen, was the element of so much uncertainty, where I didn't have a home, I didn't have a place, and I didn't have support. So there were some people who were helping, and I know, well, Jay was trying to help me in different ways, but it was, you feel very much alone in a sense in your difficulties. So fortunately, I had my car at the time, but I was living out of my car in a sense for a short while. And then the opportunity came for me to go to Italy and help out people over there and to spread the Dhamma and share the Dhamma there. So it allowed me to expand and be freer instead of being domesticated, if you will, to be stuck in one place. And to be able to, just like I was mentioning to Dhammadina's question, it teaches you to be very loving as far as being open is concerned, rather than trying to control, because you don't know where your next meal is coming from. You don't know if next week you're going to have a place to stay. And so there's a lot of questions and uncertainties that happen, which allows us, the person who becomes a bhikkhu or a bhikkhuni, to not look outside of ourselves, but to look in. And which is why the Buddha did it in the first place. He left his palaces. He had 3 major palaces. He left. He left his family. He left his child, all these things. So it's not easy. So you don't become a bhikkhu for glamour, for fame, for celebrity status. If those are the reasons why a person becomes a bhikkhu, then they're in trouble. Because I always recommend that they should not have even left the lay life, because you have a better chance of living truthfully and honestly. But for me, this keeps me on my toes. And I do more work now than I did when I was a layperson. I sleep a lot less hours. Obviously, I practice more, but I'm also always engaged with students from around the world, giving instructions and doing more retreats than I ever have done. I do worldwide retreats at least twice per week. And I'm also doing more translations than I ever did before, which is why I did choose to become a bhikkhu, to give my life fully to the Dhamma and to live the life of a bhikkhu as it was practiced almost at the time of Lord Buddha, and to see if it is really possible to taste the things that he talks about in the suttas. Every day I discover new things, so I am very happy to be a bhikkhu, in short.
Thank you, Bhante, for sharing.
Of course. Yes, Jyoti, you have a question? Oh. Trevalya, let me see what you wrote just now.
I have a question.
Yes.
How do I become handsome like you?
You know what's underneath these cheeks, this skin? Bones. Underneath it, it's blood. It's just like the blood in your body. So this is all a mirage. You guys know what a mirage is? It's just there.
Is it illusion?
Yes, very good. It's an illusion. And it's temporary too. It's temporary. I used to have a skin just as beautiful as yours, Jyoti and Eden. But now it's...
My mom always forces me to do cello and stuff because she loves me. Is that real? Is that love?
Can you lower? There's like something like electrical something next to your computer. When you're speaking, I can't hear you. It sounds like there's an echo. So your mom.
Okay.
Could you type it? Could you type it?
Always says
My
nothing.
mom always forces me to do cello and stuff, but
Oh, play cello.
she says it does it because she loves me. Is that love?
When you're from what I understood, your question, your mom wants you to play the cello, and you're wondering if that is love? I didn't understand the question.
Bhante, I think she said that his mom is kind of forcing him to play cello.
Uh-huh.
To practice cello.
The cello.
Is that love? Because
Whose love?
he
Is it
doesn't
mom's love?
like it, maybe.
So if it might be mom's love, but it's important that we love it. So it's good to talk with mom about this and ask her the question very respectfully. Mom, is it that you want me to play cello because you love the cello so much? And maybe you don't love the cello, but sometimes when you play it enough and you really get good at it, you really fall in love with it. There's that. So maybe give it a shot. Maybe try to play. But it's a very, very good question. Eden asks wonderful questions, it seems. I love that. But it could be love, but how you feel about the playing of the cello is more important. Maybe you don't have love for the cello. And that is something that mom might like to hear from you. And then listen to what she says. It's always good to communicate. I want to come back to Trevalia's question. Just now, Bhante said that we smile because we feel good. What if our addictions make us feel good? Because something too much is also not good for us. Yeah, so the last sentence that you say, something too much is also not good for us. Right now, Trevalia, your face is not smiling, right? I know when I first started to smile, I thought there was something weird about me if I smiled, because growing up, I thought it was normal not to smile. I know it sounds crazy, but that's how I thought. But once I started smiling, something interesting happened. When we smile, part of the brain that lights up when we fall in love or when we see something beautiful, like a puppy, that same place lights up when we smile. You don't have to be holding a puppy. You don't have to see a wonderful sunrise or listen to beautiful music. Just smiling. They did a test in US and also in Europe, and they had the person actually walk around with a pencil in their mouth like this, just like a smile. And they were testing them. They had all these sensors on their body and then to the brain, and the computer was showing that this person is ecstatic. This person somehow is experiencing so much happiness. What is he looking at? And they were surprised because he was just doing math. He was just sitting doing nothing. He was in the cafeteria eating lunch, but he or she was smiling. Aha, they said. So the smile itself, even if there's no reason for it, makes the brain feel like, oh my God, I'm in love. This is amazing. So that is why Bhante wants you to smile when you wake up, because when you start the day like that, suddenly good things start to happen one after another because you are feeling good to begin with. So the important thing is feeling good to begin with. Most people who have addictions, they don't feel good. You will never find a person who has addictions who's smiling, who's sitting there enjoying a good conversation. They always want to go and do the thing that they are addicted to. They don't know how to smile. So I hope that answers your question. Jyoti, you had your hand up.
I have a question. My mom says everything is not forever. Yeah.
So what do you think about that?
I think that's no fun. Sad.
Yes.
I don't want to go bye-bye.
You don't want to go bye-bye. What about mom?
She says she go bye-bye one day. And I'm like, no.
You don't want her to go bye-bye.
Never.
This is an interesting group, Jay. I love these questions. You know, Jody, the Buddha had students from different ages, including, how old are you, Jody?
I'm 11 and 3/4.
11 and 3/4, almost 12. I know the Buddha had students as young as 7 years old. 7. And they also had these same questions, like you just asked me. The things that don't last, the Buddha had a name for it. He called it anicca. In the English, we have a fancy term, impermanence. Things don't last. In the morning, the sun rose, right? It was sunny. Yes? Now, the sun is set in Los Angeles. There was a time when you were a tiny little baby. Right, Jody? No? You weren't this
I'm
old.
an alien. I was never a baby.
So, what I'm trying to say is, we are always going through changes. If you look at the trees outside, you see how they are not staying still. They're changing. They're
moving.
They're moving too, yes. The wind moves them, blows on them. They move. The leaves drop.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
wiggle, 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 wiggle.
Wiggle, wiggle. So, your mom is right. Things will not stay the same. But that also has many, many wonderful lessons to teach us, because we like to hold on to things. Do you want to stay 11? Do you want to stay always 11 and 3/4 year old?
I want to be an adult and get some money. And I go be rich and I share it with my friends.
It's wonderful that you love to share them, but the very fact that things are changing, that's how you're going to become that old. But even when you are that old, you're not going to stay that old. You're going to get older. And that is what we call rebirth. In the Dhamma, in Buddhism, we have this thing, because nobody completely dies. We're always changing. We're always changing.
I have another question.
Mm-hmm.
If science said later in like 3 million years or something like that, they say the sun's gonna go bye-bye, and then the Earth is gonna be no more, and then does that mean there's another Earth and then I'm gonna become an alien or something? Sometimes I question my life, like, what is this? It's like, I know it's a hand, but is this even real? Am I in a dream? Sometimes I question my life.
These are great questions. And you're right. You're right to ask these questions. Sometimes the question is enough to get your brain to think. Instead of just saying, oh, this is a hand, so it's a hand. That's it. That's a hand. And that's the end of it, the end of the story. But it's not. Because you said science. I used to teach science for many years. So these are interesting questions, but they have lovely answers for them. But I would like to answer it in a way that you can take something with you. Okay? The hand that you have was not that size. It was a lot smaller. It was a lot smaller. Smaller, 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 yes. And then it changes. Like the wall behind you. right? It is put together, one piece at a time. And whatever has been placed one at a time and come together will also be taken apart from being together. Okay, whatever is made up is going to be not stay like that, made up. It's going to come apart. And that's basically how life works. So just like the stars, they start from the material and the dust and the gases that used to be stars one day in the past, years ago, millions and billions of years ago. Our star is going to end, our sun, in about 5 billion years. But by that time, we won't be around here. And there are many, 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 many other planets like ours. And there are other beings like us.
So there's more humans out there, and then like it could be like the same as our world, but they have superpowers, and then the next one, Earth, has like their aliens or something.
Yeah, and you have many of these aliens on this planet, just like an ant looking at you. And then the ant goes around and tells his buddies, hey, do you see these huge giant bipeds, these things that walk on 2 legs? They are huge. And they're talking about you and me. Yes. So there are many planets like ours, and the Buddha talked about some of these, but they're not necessarily called humans. Some of them might look like ours. And some of them might not. And
So
that's
some
okay.
of them might have superpowers, or some of them might be disguised as an alien.
I don't know, maybe. But the important thing is for you to keep asking these wonderful questions, because those questions are going to help you to understand life better. So don't ever stop asking questions. That's number one. That don't lose that special skill. Okay, because it takes a special skill to ask healthy, good questions. Not to start arguments, not to fight with anyone, but just to know. Just to know. Okay, that shows that you have a curious mind. Morgan, do you have a question?
Yeah, Bante, I actually have one. I was wondering, how would you connect, because I know there are a lot of people nowadays who want to practice living their life a little bit more like minimalists, and people who practice minimalism. How would you relate that to some of the teachings and fundamentals of Buddhism?
Wonderful question. In fact, if there is a path or a practice out there that fits beautifully into the minimalist way of thinking or living one's life, then Buddhism would be it. Especially when we talk about the earlier part of the Buddha's path, the first few hundred years, because it makes you not be so caught up in stuff, in things to own, how much money you have, what type of cars do you drive, how many bedrooms does your house have, things like that, none of which matter. None of which matter, because anytime they can be taken away from us. Something could happen, flood could happen, fire could happen, earthquake could happen, something. And if anything, somebody could come and steal our money or our car, or somebody might get sick and die. All these things. Unfortunately, many people put so much importance on these things, objects. Meanwhile, it's like building a house in the middle of a raging river. It's going to take it away. So what then is important is the very, very thing that we have some level of control over, and that is our behavior. What we do, especially with the mind, with our bodies. How we do this, the Buddha started with sila. So it's not a matter of living a minimalist life, It has to be based on virtue or moral living, which the Buddha called sila, which is what we took in the beginning, the 5 precepts. If you live by that code, you start to live cleaner and healthier and cleaner and healthier and smarter every single day. And then you start to see, you know what? I don't need that very expensive thing in the house. I don't have to work extra 100 hours to make enough money to get that. Okay? So you start seeing more value in the quality of the things that you have. Of course, we need to eat. Of course, we need some shelter. We need some transportation. Fine. But you don't have to go crazy with how big you want it to be. And then you start to ask for little things, not big things. And then you're satisfied. Because there's more fun that you're getting from sitting to meditate and then interacting with people and how you are seeing your life turn out to be. Without objects, without possessions. Because possessions don't give us happiness. They never do. They just are more stuff that we go and have to work harder to buy a bigger house to put extra stuff in that house. So we carry the stuff with us. More stuff, more stuff, more stuff. And then where does that go when we're no longer here? Now somebody has to carry that stuff. So when my father died, we had to work, all 4 of us. We're 4 siblings, 3 brothers and 1 sister. All of us worked almost round the clock for over a week, and we could not get rid of his stuff. 1 week. We were giving them away, and they were not going fast enough because he had collected all kinds of stuff. So that made me smarter about not having that much stuff so that you can move faster. It's lighter. You feel lighter. And you don't become a burden on anyone. That's a
I have 3 questions.
Yes, but brilliant question, Morgan. Thank you for that. Yes, Jody.
I have been questioning my life for like about ever since I was like 3. Is that bad? And how much longer?
What is bad?
Questioning my life. Like if I am even real.
Oh, you are real because I'm talking with you. Do you get it? You're not talking to yourself. So you're sitting in a room, digital room, and we're talking with you. We're listening to you. People are just listening to your question right now. And they're hearing me answer your question. So that part is real. The second question? Was there another question? Yes, what is it?
How much longer? I want to go hug my mom.
Oh, today. Oh, you can go ahead and hug your mom right now.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How do I not be lonely?
Ah.
I'm always lonely.
You're lonely.
And with my dolls don't help, even though they're very fluffy.
Mm. Okay, if I'm going to answer, I would like you to be in the room, but you're going to hug your mom. Oh, you're there. Okay. Well, it's important for you to keep contact with friends. You have some friends here, and your mom is there. So make have an appointment set up with at least one person that you can talk with once a week. A friend, maybe on the mainland or somewhere, or even here. And another thing is to do some exercises. instead of sitting and doing the same thing over and over again, because that will make you feel bored. You can do anything like running, you can do like push-ups, you can do, actually you can go and help your mom around the house, whatever she likes to do. Give her a helping hand, and I'm sure she's going to really love that. Okay? You can
How
start
much longer is
Yes.
this meeting?
You can go ahead and hug her right now. You don't have to be here.
How long is this meeting?
I don't know, Jay.
I want to stay here, that's why.
Oh, you want to stay here? I thought you
Yeah.
wanted to leave.
Oh, I'm just asking how much longer.
Not long, not too long. Yes, Jay.
Well, it's probably 30 minutes, Jyoti. Is it okay? Okay.
All right. So are there any other questions? Yes, Morgan.
I know how you earlier were talking about how minimalism is one of those things that can integrate well. Well, in minimalism, I know a lot of people like to wear the same wardrobe every day, so or like wear something similar so they don't have to think about it. Is that something just that you would do for social practices, or would that be beneficial to like your mind and your body as well?
Again, the attitude is very important, where you're coming from with it, because these can also be things that are just superficial. Meanwhile, the person is trying to fit in with other minimalists, for example, because it's a thing now, right? So you want to be part of the crowd, which is now a bigger problem than just minimalism. Tomorrow, these same people might want to go ahead and buy a Maserati or a Bentley, and now you're going to go ahead and want to be like them. So that tells me that this person has bigger issues than just wanting to be minimalist. So there's other issues there, because I'm also a psychotherapist, as you pointed out. So there's different things that we need to look at. But minimalism, as minimalism, is definitely something that can help us to lessen the noise, to make, to have there be less problems, less things to take your time, steal your time from you. So yeah, you don't have to go to the mall every week or every month or every other month to buy new clothes, because they're just clothes. Now, if the person thinks that, no, in order for me to be with this kind of crowd, I need to fit in. I need to have the thing that is right now in fashion. So I have to empty out my old wardrobe and buy a new one and spend more money. Okay, so this is what many people do. And that's fine, I guess, for them. But they're not addressing the main issue. The main problem is this person is empty, is not feeling happy with who they are. So they see themselves important only when the clothing are, quote unquote, important. So the minimalist, the way I understand it, the true minimalist is someone who really doesn't care if the clothing that they're wearing is one that they bought 10 years ago, last week, or something that they borrowed from their older brother or their dads, because it's just a piece of cloth that covers their body, keeps them warm. As bhikkhus, as Eddie was asking me, we only have 3 sets of robes. That's the fashion. I'm wearing a t-shirt because sometimes it gets cold, so I have to wear that underneath. But essentially, it's just these robes. That's it. That's my fashion. It's a 2,600-year-old fashion. And it's still in style for the bhikkhu. And we don't even wear watches. And to make things even less complicated, we shave the head. Otherwise, I have to put gel. I used to put gel when I was a layperson. I had to make sure, no hair is sticking out every time I step out of the house, which is a lot of work sometimes. Oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. Oh, you don't have to deal with that as a bhikkhu. So it makes things much easier in some aspects, less complicated. So the perfect example of a minimalist is a traditional bhikkhu or bhikkhuni. So something to think about.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Bhante.
but I love the fact that nowadays people are thinking more along the lines of becoming minimalist. I like that. But we always ask the question, why? In the Buddhism, we always ask the questions because that is what makes the brain work and the wisdom to come in slowly, slowly. We don't accept anything blindly in the Dhamma. We like to ask, not to be mean, not to start arguments. No, just we want to know why. Like you're asking. That's beautiful. You sounded like you had another question.
Oh, no, I just wanted to thank you for the answer.
Of course, my pleasure. Well, if there are no further questions, we can proceed to the next segment of the program. Jay?
Yes. So anyone else have a question? Maybe one last question? Raise your hand. 1, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Yeah, we can continue with the next. Let me share the screen very quick, Bhante.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Morgan.
Okay. Thank you so much, Bhante. Thank you for that Dhamma talk and answering all of our questions. We have some announcements first. Firstly, we have Dhammadesana and Q&A Saturday, March 6th, 6 p.m. Pacific and 9 p.m. Eastern. In Indonesia, that would be March 7, 9 a.m. WIB. And then also we have additional Dhamma talk. We don't know what the topic is, but it will be on March 13th or March 14th if you are in Indo. And then all the information is on the screen right now. And then additionally, we have
this is for New York, temple in New York.
Yeah, we have Dhammadesana that the Buddhist temple in New York will be hosting, and then all of the information is on the screen right now. And then also next after this, we have our Dana and Pledge to Support. So Desete or DhammaCakraTra right now is in the process of remodeling and building, upgrading our temple. So if you would like to, we have our Zili, and then we have all of the other contact information and other payment if you guys would like to donate. And then also we have Amazon Smile. If you guys would like to, by putting in your Amazon Smile and then putting in DhammaCakraTra, you can also help fund our temple at no extra cost to you, and our temple gets a portion of the purchases that you make. And then now, what we're going to continue to do is we will be asking Bhante for transfer of merit, as well as after this, we will be asking for blessings and prayers for Vivi Liga's father. His name is Hati Suchiputo, and he is sick right now in Semarang. So if we could please ask for transfer of merit and also that blessing, Bhante, please.
Mm-hmm. So please have your hands in Anjali in front of your heart. Think of something wonderful about, whether it's from your life or just wanting to feel really, really deeply good maybe a memory from your past, wanting to give something very precious to someone you love. So have your mind be full of those thoughts as you hear me chanting the Patidana Sutta. Because when we say words, we need to say them with intention. And that is why your thoughts are very important to help influence those who are sick and those who are not with us even in a different realm. So have those lovely thoughts and do it with a smile. Punyassidhani katassa yananyani katani me te sancha bhagino hontu sattananta pamanaka ye piya gunavanta cha mayam mata pita dayo Dittha me chapya dittava anye majjata verino satta tithanti lokasming te bhumma chatuyonika pancheka chatuvokara sangsaranta bhava bhave Nyatam ye patidanang me anumodantu te sayam ye chimang nappajananti devate sangnivedayum maya dinnana punyanang anumodana hetuna Sabbe satta sada hontu avera sukha jivino keppam madancha pappontu te sa sijjhatang subha. The meaning I'll recite in English. May the merit that we have done now or that we will be doing later on be received by all beings here, unlimited, invaluable, whether they are visible or invisible. They that I love and are virtuous, just like father and mother, to be seen or not to be seen, be neutral or be they enemies. All beings in this universe, in the three worlds, in different kinds of birth, lower realms, as well as in all the higher realms, one or four part, wander in big or small worlds in the 10 directions. May they, from this merit and the offerings of mine, gain after knowing they be happy, and for them that do not know, may the deities let them know by broadcasting it to them. By this merit of mine that I offered, may that bring happiness and joy to all beings forever. May they live happily, free from hatred, greed, and delusion. May they experience great peace within their hearts. May their dreams come true, and may they experience contentedness in their hearts.
And then now, Bante, if you could please give a blessing to Hati Suchipto, who right now, once again, is sick right now and is not feeling so well.
Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi Iti piso Bhagava Arahan Samma Sambuddho Vijjacharana Sampanno Sugato Lokavidu Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sarathi Sattha Deva Manusanam Buddho Bhagavati Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namassami Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditiko Akaliko Ehipassiko Opanayiko Pachattam Veditabbo Vinyuhiti Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sangham Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavata Sangho Sanditiko Akaliko Supatipanno Pachattam Veditabbo Vinyuhiti. Please have the thought of the monks, the arahants, surrounding your father, the ailing father. Imagine Lord Buddha, his energy. Imagine the arahants, their energy. Imagine their faces. Imagine the metta that is pouring out of their hearts. Come and radiate towards your ailing father, as well as all those that we hold so dear in our lives, who are struggling, feeling pain, as well as the pain in our hearts. The words that we chant in Pali have meanings, but the meaning is attached to feelings that we have in our hearts towards these loved ones. So may these words be connected with the feeling of love. Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Ujupatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Nyaya Patipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Samichi Patipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Yadidang Chattari Purisa Yugani Atha Purisa Puggala Esa Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Ahuneyo Pahuneyo Dakkineyo Anjali Karaniyo Anuttaram Punyaketang Lokasati. Please imagine your loved ones, the one, the father, who's ailing. Miniaturize them, bring them smaller and smaller, and make them like a drop, and place them in the center of your heart. And keep giving them metta. Keep giving them love with a smile. Breathe into that. And may the blessings of the Triple Gem be with you. Akasatha chabummata deva naga mahidika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhantu lokasasanam. Akasatha chabummata deva naga mahidika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhantu desanam. Akasatha chabummata deva naga mahidika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhantu mam paranti. You may say sadhu 3 times.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you so much, Bhante, for Dhammadesana today. And then also thank you everyone for joining and coming along. Now, as we close this meeting, I wish everyone well, happy, to stay safe and healthy. And now Jyoti will close with DhammaCakraTra.
Araham Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Udam Bhagavantam Abhivatemi Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Sangho Sanghang Namami. Please.
Thank you so much, Shoti. Sabe sata bantu sikitata. Semoga semua mau hidup bahagia. Thank you, everyone. May all beings be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, everyone, again for joining us.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Bante, for all of the blessings.
Be well. Sukhi hotu.
Thank you, Bante.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Bante.
Bante. Thank you.
You Bante.